LOREN and Alex's divorce and emotional fallout. Hello friends, welcome to my channel. I hope you are well. Please subscribe the channel and press the bell icon. The world of 90 Day Fiancé has always thrived on shocking revelations, fiery relationships, and unexpected twists. But few announcements in recent memory have shaken the fanbase as deeply as the sudden news of LOREN Brovarnik and Alexei Brovarnik's divorce. For years, they were considered one of the most stable and beloved couples to ever appear on the hit reality TV series. Their love story, which began when LOREN met Alex during a birthright trip to Israel, blossomed into marriage, children, and years of televised family moments that fans adored. And then, without warning, the news broke. On a quiet Monday morning, multiple outlets, including In Touch Weekly and Entertainment Tonight, released the same headline. 90 Day Fiancé stars LOREN and Alexei Brovarnik file for divorce after years together. Fans couldn't believe it. Social media exploded instantly. This can't be real. They were the one couple I actually believed in. One fan wrote on Twitter. If LOREN and Alex didn't make it, then who can? Another follower posted on Instagram. The report stated that LOREN had filed the paperwork in Florida, citing irreconcilable differences. No third-party names were mentioned initially, but speculation immediately grew. Whispers about Alex's growing distance and constant travel for work began circulating. Rumors swirled that he had been seen with another woman months earlier, though no one wanted to believe them at the time. What made the announcement even more devastating was that LOREN and Alex had always been so open with their fans. Through Instagram Lives, reality TV spin-offs, and candid interviews, they had documented everything, from moving into their Florida home to the birth of their 3 children. They had shared their highs and lows with honesty. That transparency made the sudden collapse of their marriage feel personal to viewers who had invested in their journey for years. Tabloids quickly dove into the story. One outlet claimed LOREN was blindsided. She believed in her marriage, but Alex grew distant, especially after the birth of their 3rd child. The couple struggled behind closed doors more than fans realized. Another insider suggested that LOREN had been dealing with postpartum struggles while Alex was emotionally unavailable during that period. Whatever the reasons, the divorce was no longer a rumor. Court documents confirmed it. By midday, LOREN posted a cryptic Instagram story, just a white background with the words, "Sometimes love isn't enough." The post immediately went viral, with fans dissecting every word. Producers of 90 Day Fiancé scrambled to respond. LOREN and Alex had become a cornerstone couple for the franchise, often appearing in spin-offs like Pillow Talk. Their relatable family life and genuine chemistry had provided balance to the otherwise drama-heavy storylines of other cast members. Now, their separation became one of the biggest scandals in franchise history. Blogs and podcasts dedicated to the show speculated endlessly. Some blamed the pressures of reality TV, others suspected infidelity. A few insisted that LOREN's rising social media career and Alex's more private lifestyle created a growing rift. The divorce, however, wasn't just gossip fodder. For LOREN, it was the unraveling of a life she thought she had built on trust. For Alex, it was a breaking point that would soon reveal another shocking chapter, his 2nd marriage. But before that chapter began, both had to survive the immediate emotional storm. For LOREN, the days following the divorce filing were a blur of tears, exhaustion, and unbearable silence in a once lively household. She had been married to Alex for nearly a decade. Their 3 children were too young to fully understand why Daddy no longer lived in the same home. At night, after putting the kids to bed, LOREN often sat alone in the kitchen, staring at the empty chair across from her. That chair had once been Alex's, where he laughed with her about the chaos of parenting, where he comforted her during postpartum struggles, where he made promises about forever. Now, it was just a reminder of absence. In an emotional Instagram live, LOREN broke down while addressing her fans. "I don't know how we got here. I loved him. I fought for us. But sometimes, no matter how much you fight, the other person just doesn't want the same anymore." She wiped her tears, admitting that she felt humiliated. She had believed they would be the exception in the reality TV world. Instead, she now found herself part of a tragic statistic. The hardest part for LOREN wasn't just the heartbreak, it was protecting her children from the fallout. She didn't want them to feel abandoned, even though she sometimes did. Meanwhile, Alexei, or Alex as fans knew him, was equally conflicted, though his outward demeanor suggested strength. Friends close to him revealed that he had been struggling for months, torn between his loyalty to LOREN and a deep unhappiness he couldn't ignore. He loved LOREN, one friend told Us Weekly, but he felt trapped in a cycle of arguments, misunderstandings, and pressure. He wanted peace. He didn't want to keep pretending everything was okay. Alex moved out quietly, staying in a small apartment near his workplace. He avoided making public statements, instead focusing on rebuilding his routine. To him, the marriage had run its course long before the official divorce papers. But what shocked everyone, including LOREN, was how quickly Alex moved on. Both families were devastated. LOREN's parents, who had once been skeptical of Alex but grew to love him, reportedly felt betrayed. They were especially protective of LOREN during this time. Her mother, Marlene, was spotted several times arriving at LOREN's home, helping with the children and shielding her daughter from paparazzi. Alex's family in Israel, however, seemed to support his decision. A cousin allegedly told Israeli media, "Alex wants to be happy. He is young. He has his whole life ahead of him." The marriage became too heavy, and he could not continue in sadness. Friends who had been close to the couple felt torn. Some sided with LOREN, believing she gave everything to the marriage. Others defended Alex, saying he had been unhappy for years and deserved another chance at love. The divorce didn't just divide families, it divided fans. On Instagram, LOREN's posts were flooded with supportive comments. "Stay strong. You're an amazing mom. You deserved better, Queen." Meanwhile, Alex's social media faced backlash. "How could you leave her after everything? You're trash. She gave you everything." The online war only intensified when whispers of Alex's new relationship began to surface. Behind the scenes, LOREN grappled with a storm of emotions: anger, heartbreak, humiliation, and fear. She worried about how she would raise 3 children as a single mother. She feared the impact the divorce would have on her career as an influencer, where her brand had been built on family life. Nights were the hardest. The silence in her bedroom was deafening. The bed felt too big. Memories of Alex's laughter, his arms wrapped around her, haunted her sleep. She confided in close friends that she often replayed their wedding day in her head, wondering where everything had gone wrong. The ink on the divorce papers had barely dried when new headlines erupted, sending shockwaves through the 90-day Fiance universe once again. Alexei Brovarnik remarries. Shocking twist after divorce from LOREN. The news broke less than 6 months after the public announcement of his split from LOREN. Fans could hardly believe it. For many, Alex had always represented loyalty, stability, and devotion to family. To see him walk down the aisle with someone else so quickly felt like betrayal. At first, the media only had whispers. Paparazzi photos surfaced of Alex with a tall brunette woman at a Miami cafe. They appeared close, sharing coffee, laughing, and even holding hands. Within days, her identity was revealed. Nadia Levin, a 29-year-old Israeli-American who worked in real estate and had been living in Florida for a few years. Nadia wasn't a celebrity, nor had she appeared on reality TV before. But overnight, she became one of the most talked-about figures in the franchise's fanbase. The wedding itself was small and private, but in today's world, privacy rarely lasts. Photos leaked showing Alex in a light gray suit, smiling widely, his arm around Nadia in a sleek ivory gown. They were married in a beachside ceremony attended by close friends and family, though conspicuously, none of LOREN's family or mutual friends were present. The images circulated online, sparking outrage. "How dare he move on so fast?" wrote one fan on Reddit. "He just destroyed LOREN's life, and now he's playing happy husband again?" tweeted another. "This is disgusting. Poor LOREN and the kids," echoed countless Instagram comments. Despite the backlash, Alex appeared unfazed. He posted a single photo on his Instagram with a caption. That post, of course, ignited a storm. Thousands of comments poured in, some congratulatory, but mostly scathing. Many fans unfollowed him, while others accused him of abandoning his family. LOREN, blindsided once again, found out about the wedding through social media just like everyone else. Close friends claimed she broke down in tears, not because she wanted Alex back, but because of the sheer speed at which he had moved on. During an emotional Instagram story, LOREN addressed the situation vaguely. I'm not going to comment on someone else's choices. I'm focused on my children and my healing. That's all that matters right now. Her composed words couldn't fully mask her pain. Fans noticed the swelling in her eyes, the forced calm in her voice. She was hurting, and the world knew it. After the divorce and Alex's remarriage, LOREN found herself in a new, daunting chapter: single motherhood. Raising 3 children under the age of 5 was already challenging with a partner. Alone, it often felt impossible. Mornings began with chaos, packing lunches, chasing toddlers, juggling tantrums, all while trying to maintain her influencer career. Nights ended in exhaustion, with LOREN often collapsing into bed after finally cleaning up toys and bottles scattered across the living room floor. In candid posts, LOREN admitted she cried often. Some nights I put the kids to bed and just break down. I miss the life I thought I'd have, but I look at my babies and they keep me going. Fans flooded her comments with encouragement, sending love and reminding her of her strength. If LOREN received sympathy, Alex received scorn. Social media had become a battlefield where fans picked sides. Team LOREN accused Alex of being a heartless deserter. Team Alex defended him, saying no one knew the full story and that LOREN's social media portrayal didn't capture their private struggles. Hashtags like #JusticeForLOREN and #TeamLOREN began trending. Memes circulated mocking Alex's quick remarriage, while others painted LOREN as a queen surviving betrayal. The conflict grew so intense that even other 90-Day Fiance cast members chimed in. Annie Sowen posted, "Stay strong, LOREN. You deserve happiness." Colt Johnson, never far from controversy, tweeted, "People need to let Alex live his life. Nobody really knows what happens in a marriage except the 2 people in it." The franchise community was divided like never before. Through it all, LOREN leaned heavily on her parents. Her mother, Marlene, often stayed over to help with the kids. Her father, Brian, became her rock, taking on babysitting duties and ensuring LOREN had breaks to breathe. Her siblings also rallied around her, stepping into a more active role in her life. For the first time in years, LOREN felt truly dependent on her family, and it both humbled and strengthened her. Alex's family, meanwhile, celebrated his new marriage openly. On Facebook, his relatives in Israel posted congratulatory messages, pictures from the wedding, and heartfelt captions about new beginnings. The cultural divide between the families became stark. As the drama unfolded, many wondered if LOREN's influencer career would crumble. Surprisingly, it did the opposite. Brands reached out, offering partnerships centered on empowered motherhood, resilience, and authentic living. LOREN turned her pain into power, sharing raw, unfiltered glimpses into her struggles. Fans resonated with her honesty, and her following grew. She became a voice for single mothers, using her platform to spread awareness about mental health, postpartum depression, and healing after heartbreak. Producers of 90-Day Fiance saw the storm as both tragedy and opportunity. Discussions began about a potential spin-off centered on LOREN's journey as a single mother. Rumors spread about cameras following her as she rebuilt her life, showing her raw truth. Alex, however, was unlikely to be featured again. His remarriage, coupled with a negative backlash, made him a difficult figure to market. Some speculated that TLC had quietly distanced itself from him to protect the franchise's image. Behind the strength and the Instagram filters, LOREN still carried a heavy heart. At night, when the kids were asleep and the house grew quiet, she sometimes scrolled through old photos, wedding pictures, videos of Alex cradling their newborns, clips of family trips. She wondered how love could dissolve so quickly. She questioned whether she had missed warning signs or ignored red flags. Therapy became a lifeline. LOREN admitted publicly that she was seeing a counselor, not just for herself, but also for guidance on how to help her children through the transition. "I want my kids to grow up knowing they're loved by both parents, even if we're not together," she shared. The months after Alex's second marriage were some of the hardest of LOREN's life. Every headline, every tabloid cover seemed to carry his name, often alongside photographs of him smiling next to Nadia. For LOREN, those smiles stung like salt in an open wound. But instead of collapsing under the weight of grief, she began to find strength in unexpected places. Her mornings still began in chaos: children crying for breakfast, a toddler clinging to her leg, bottles spilling on the kitchen counter. But she slowly found rhythm. There was power in routine. There was healing in small victories: packing 3 lunches on time, managing to shower before noon, taking all 3 kids to the park without breaking down. Therapy sessions became her anchor. On a rainy afternoon, sitting in her therapist's office, LOREN confessed, "I don't even know who I am without him. For years, I was LOREN and Alex. Just like that one name. Now it's just me. And it feels like half of me is gone." Her therapist leaned forward gently. "Or maybe it means half of you has been waiting to live." Those words stayed with her. While LOREN fought her battles quietly, Alex's new marriage was far from peaceful behind closed doors. At first, everything looked perfect on Instagram: sunset selfies, romantic dinners, smiling family gatherings. Nadia appeared to adore him, and Alex seemed lighter, freer than he had in years. But whispers began surfacing in fan groups. Neighbors claimed to hear frequent arguments. Nadia reportedly disliked the constant scrutiny from fans and tabloids. She had never signed up for reality TV fame, and now she found herself dragged into one of the franchise's biggest scandals. An anonymous source told In Touch, "They rushed into this marriage. Alex thought he wanted freedom, but he traded one set of pressures for another. Nadia isn't LOREN. She doesn't tolerate the same things LOREN did." The cracks began to show publicly when Alex suddenly deactivated his Instagram for several weeks. Fans speculated it was to escape criticism, but others believed it hinted at deeper marital problems. In the early days after the divorce, most fans rallied behind LOREN. But as months passed, the conversation grew more nuanced. Some began questioning whether LOREN had painted herself too much as a victim online. Others wondered if Alex's unhappiness in the marriage had been ignored because of his quiet personality. Podcasts and YouTube channels dedicated entire episodes to dissecting the saga. Did Alex really abandon LOREN, or was he just miserable? LOREN's empowerment era, from heartbreak to heroine. Nadia, the unwanted villain, or just a woman in love? The debates raged on, but one truth remained constant: people couldn't stop watching. LOREN and Alex's breakup had become one of the most compelling storylines in 90-Day Fiancé history, even more gripping than couples who thrived on chaos. TLC executives quickly realized the potential. LOREN was offered her own limited spin-off series, tentatively titled Life After Love: LOREN's Journey. The show followed her daily struggles and triumphs as a single mother. Cameras captured raw, tearful moments, like LOREN trying to put 3 kids to bed alone, and uplifting ones, like the joy on her face when her youngest took his first steps. Viewers praised the authenticity. Ratings soared. LOREN had become, unintentionally, one of the most inspiring figures in the franchise. Meanwhile, Alex was noticeably absent from TLC screens. Rumors swirled that producers didn't want to associate with his remarriage after fan backlash. Some insiders claimed Alex refused to appear on camera with Nadia, fearing it would only worsen public opinion. By the 1-year mark after the divorce, LOREN was no longer just the woman Alex left. She had forged a new identity: mother, influencer, advocate. Her Instagram bio changed from wife,
mom,
reality star, to simply mom, survivor, dreamer. She started speaking at events about postpartum depression and single parenting. Brands approached her not just for sponsorships but for keynote speeches. She had turned her pain into purpose. One night, during an intimate dinner with close friends, LOREN reflected on her journey. I used to think my world ended when Alex left. But maybe it was just beginning. I lost the person I thought I couldn't live without, and I'm still here. Stronger than I ever imagined. Her friends raised glasses of wine. To LOREN, the comeback queen, one said, and everyone clinked their glasses. Alex, on the other hand, remained more private. But in a rare interview with an Israeli magazine, he opened up. I don't regret my marriage to LOREN. We had beautiful years together. But people change. I wanted peace, and I found it in a different place. I know fans see me as the bad guy, but only LOREN and I know the truth of what happened between us. He didn't elaborate, but his tone suggested lingering respect, even if the love was gone. Months later, fate brought LOREN and Alex face to face again. They met at a neutral location to exchange the kids for visitation. It was awkward at first. Two people who once shared everything, now reduced to polite strangers. LOREN handed over the kids' bags. They've eaten dinner already. Just make sure they're in bed by 9. Alex nodded. Got it. Thanks. For a brief moment, their eyes met. No anger, no bitterness, just a quiet acknowledgement of everything they had once been. It wasn't reconciliation. It wasn't closure. But it was peace. As the years went on, LOREN's star only rose. She became a household name beyond 90 Day Fiance, admired for her honesty and resilience. Alex faded from the spotlight, living his quieter life with Nadia, occasionally surfacing in fan chatter, but no longer the public figure he once was. Their story remained a reminder of love's fragility, the pressures of fame, and the resilience of the human spirit. For LOREN, the ending was not tragic. It was transformative. For Alex, it was not villainy. It was his choice. And for fans, it was a story they would never forget.